Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Elite Expert Insider Podcast. Hosts Melanie Johnson and Jen Foster are the owners of Elite Online Publishing. They're both Wall Street Journal, USA Today best-selling authors. We're really glad you're here because this podcast was designed for you. Meet industry experts that share their secrets and strategies. Get successful results for your business in money, relationships, health, and your life. Each episode is going to inspire you to take action towards reaching your greatness.
Hey everyone, it's Melanie Johnson. I hope you're having a super great day today. I'm with Jenn Foster, my co-owner of Elite Online Publishing. Hey Jen.
Hey everyone, how's it going today?
Good. We're going to have a great show. We are with a serial entrepreneur, a strategic thinker, and an investor. So not only is he the owner and investor in Maxy Media, knows all of this great stuff about TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, and Google Display, but he's also a real estate expert as well. But I'm really interested because he just wrote a best-selling book. So we want to hear about the Lucky Formula book, how that's working for him, why he wrote it, and dive deep into his material. So welcome, Mark. Thanks for coming today.
Oh, thank you for having me, ladies. But I have to correct you on your bio. Real estate expert, I don't know. We'll dig into that later.
Okay. Well, real estate investors, they have a system for everything, but you have a better system for them.
I don't think I do. So if you want to ask me, that's in my book also, by the way. So I don't know if you want to ask me about that. I'll be not happy to tell you about my real estate experience.
Okay.
Well, tell us, Mark, how you came about writing this book and how you got involved in Moxie Media.
Well, it's been about 10 years, and a buddy of mine in the marketing space has kept on peppering me to write a book. You have so many great stories, because I've had, the book really starts out with my biggest failure in life, which is real estate, by the way. So I wouldn't say real estate expert by any means. And then I made, I'll call it a miraculous comeback out of that. I'll call it near death experience, near bankruptcy, near total depression, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. So, this guy has been peppering me for a long time. He's like, listen, you've got so many things to teach the world, write a book. And then COVID hits and he calls me up again. He's like, listen, now it's time. People need something. They need you. They need the lucky formula. So that's when I decided to do it. And the lucky formula, just so you know, ladies, my last name is Lachance or Lachance, which means lucky in French. So that's why it's called the lucky formula. So basically my formula. So why did I do it other than being peppered by my buddy to do it? I kind of thought there was a lot of downtime during COVID. And I said, you know what, there's a lot of crazy things happening in this world. So why not become a best-selling author? That's honestly the story. So.
And why is it important? Like, we have authors that come to us and tell us, well, I don't care if my book's a bestseller or not. So why do you think that's important? I mean, you just said like you were proud of it.
Well, look, I think, no, I know it opens doors that you wouldn't normally have open. I mean, look, every time I go to let's call it a high powered meeting, any meeting really, I give them a book and I give them a lucky hat. So let me show you my lucky hat. All right. So I've got lucky hats like this. So I give a book and a lucky hat, and everybody enjoys the gift. They say that when you go into somebody's house, you always give a gift, housewarming gift, and it helps open doors or helps open, or, basically calm the mood of the meeting. But it has helped to open doors. It has helped to give credibility. It has helped, get clients maybe that it wouldn't have gotten normally. So I think it's a pretty good exercise. It's not easy to do, as you guys know, but I got through it and I'm alive still. So good.
Well, let's dive into that. What was the writing process like for you? And did you physically write your book out, or did you talk your book like how I did mine?
Am I supposed to give my secrets?
Let's reveal it.
Well, I spoke it out, and it's actually, so I had I'll call it a ghostwriter but I spoke the whole thing into, he came to my office actually probably for about 20 hours. So it was a couple hours a week, and I kept on telling stories and stories and stories. So it was a back and forth, right? So fortunately I had the writer in my office. So that helped with the process. Others, I know that they obviously do it virtually. They do it from a distance. And then I took that, call it manuscript, and I handed it off to another company like yours that polished it up.
Mhm.
But it was a lot of back and forth. So some people are like, well, you didn't really write your book, but I'm like, yes, I did, because the stories
Yeah.
are mine. The tips and tricks and everything I write about in the Lucky Formula is all mine. It's all my stuff. And it's all true. And basically, so a lot of people are like, well, is it true? Is there any BS in there? And I'm like, no, actually it's all true. So
Well, I think people have a different idea of what a ghostwriter is. Some people think a ghostwriter writes a book for you, and that's not really the case. A lot of times a ghostwriter is an editor and a book coach. So they're just pulling the story out of you. And book coach kind of sounds better than a ghostwriter, because ghostwriter back in the day was like, oh, I'll write it for you. But that's not really what they do. They're actually coaching you to get the stories out, helping you with the formula, making sure you have the right chapter titles and stuff, because they've done books before.
that's
right?
actually, yes, he was a book coach. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's actually true, right? So they would ask
Yeah.
you the right questions to get the right answers out of you, and
Mhm.
to make the book amazing. And I
Yeah.
actually think our team did an amazing job, and the story reads well. It's riveting. It's eye catching. People have told me that they can't put it down. So
Great.
I
Well,
like
let's
it.
dive into what is the Lucky Formula.
the Lucky Formula is I plus E plus A equals luck. What does that mean? That means internal mastery, things like your internal narrative, and things like, how do you speak to yourself? How do you treat people? So your internal self plus your external. So mastering your internal self plus mastering your external self. So that means nutrition, sleep, exercise, how you speak to other people, how you engage with other people, plus action, plus taking action. And I can get into greater details, but all that equals luck. So if you master your internal self, you master your external self, and you sprinkle action on top of that, you're going to get success or luck. It's interchangeable in this book.
Oh, that sounds like a great formula. I always think, I'm always in the right place at the right time. And I know other people who think I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's part of that formula you just talked about, right?
Well, I'll tell you why, Jen, because you know to your core that you're like, for example, I'll bet you when you go to a conference, maybe you don't have a specific plan, but you know something serendipitous is going to happen, right? I can see that, right? So same thing with me. I'll have maybe a high level targets, so 3 or 4 goals, but I always know that something out of the blue is going to happen. And
Mhm.
why? Because it's the connections I've made over the years. It's the way I
Mhm.
speak to people. I compliment people, so people want to help you. And that's all part of the formula, right? So,
Right.
and it's about putting yourself in the right place at the right time, studying the right books. If you guys saw my bookshelf back there, you would see the books that I read that are all in my book. But look, you've got to have your mindset proper. You have to have your energy proper. So I'll give you a great story about energy. So about 20 years ago, when I really got my career going, I moved to Montreal, which is brutally cold in the winter. And now I'm glad I'm in Florida. But anyway, we used to go to lunch every single day and have a massive lunch and have dessert every single lunch. And when I get back to my office, I'd be passing out on my desk. And, so my energy levels in the morning have always forever been a 10 on 10, but in the afternoon, they were a 2 on 10. So when your energy is a 2 on 10, do you think you're going to get lucky or get opportunities or get any growth? No, the answer is no. So by learning proper nutrition and how to eat a proper lunch, you can keep your energy levels at a 10 on 10 all day long, all the way, from 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. all the way to 11. And so that little tip and trick on how to learn proper nutrition and supplementation and moving your body will keep your energy levels high, which will increase your ability to catch luck or get lucky.
Mhm.
That's one
Mhm.
example.
Wow, that's a great example. And then is that what you teach for leadership? What are some of the other things you're teaching for leadership to have business grow and have better leadership?
Well, actually, it's funny you ask, because every Thursday at 11:30 Eastern, I do a leadership training seminar for my team. So we've grown the company to about 300 employees now. And we do a leadership training. And yesterday I did my specific leadership training where I have 15 points of leadership that I believe are pertinent. And, a few are like something like the ability to show vision or salesmanship or extreme ownership. So for example, something goes wrong, it's always your fault, not somebody else. And if you're a leader that points the finger at your team, then you're not going to be a very good leader. So,
Mhm.
we talk a lot about leadership in the book as well, but I do, teach leadership and have my 15 points of leadership training seminar, which is awesome, Melanie, just so you know.
It
I
sounds like it's
bet.
awesome.
And is that one of the key things to having a successful company?
I think, well, one of the key things is the leader's mindset. And the
Mhm.
second key, which is probably the first key maybe, is the people that leader puts around him or her, right?
Mm.
It's all about the people. It's all about getting great people. And it's all about when you make a mistake on people, getting rid of the wrong people. So I actually did another exercise last week where I had each leader, or actually, no, I have about 60 people on this call. So I had everybody in the call pick somebody on their team and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 of those 15 points of leadership. And it was amazing to see the scores that came back. Like they were literally rating their people 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. And then, when you typically get people that think like that, your number is going to go like that, like they have. So it's
Mhm.
all about putting positive people in the position and letting them thrive and letting them do their work. And I can get into a few more stories in a second if you want.
I think that's great. Yeah. So you said you're born into, or it says in your book that you're born into a family that anything's possible. So tell us a little bit about that and about the hockey. You said your brother's in
There
hockey.
you go. There, look at that. So you did read the book, Jen. Yeah. Well, a lot of people think if you look at professional sports, right? You look at any sport, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. People are like, oh, it's impossible to play professional. Well, I had two brothers that played pro, and I was a sports agent, and I represented professional hockey players. And my kids, while they don't like hockey, which is incredible to me, but they like judo, I believe they can win the gold medal in the Olympics for judo. And why? Because I've been there. I've, seen two brothers play pro hockey. I was a decent hockey player, not great like my brothers, but
Mhm.
the point is I think anything's possible. And, our father taught us that at an early age, and we wrote down our goals, and which is part of the lucky formula as well, writing down goals and
Mhm.
visualizing. And we did all that growing up. So I do believe that anything's possible. And I do believe you could play professional sports. People can. Not everybody can. I was too short at the time, at the time that it mattered, and not fast enough on the ice. But I do believe that you could be a professional in whatever you want. So great, I wasn't a professional in sports, but I've grown 4 or 5 pretty big companies, and maybe I'm a professional in business. I don't know, but
I think so.
So Mark, do you help and consult with companies to get them on the right track?
I haven't really done that. I mean, I've done a lot of podcasts, so maybe that's a form of consulting. But I do consult my internal team, my executives, and the team to get better and better. So yes, I consult my own company, Melanie.
I like that. So what is the main thing, like when you're looking at analyzing revenue and increasing sales, increasing revenue, what are some of the things you're looking at on a regular basis?
Well, I think and I heard, what's the name of that real estate agency? It'll come to me. But I had heard him talk about a cash flow statement, and not really a cash flow statement, a cash availability statement. And Keller Williams. So it was Keller, who's the CEO. And I had already put that in place a long time ago. So, a cash flow statement or a P&L, a profit and loss statement,
Mhm.
is actually worthless because it doesn't tell you the cash that you have on hand. So I created years ago my own cash on hand statement. Great, you have receivables, and great, you have, you pay taxes or this and that, but what's the real cash that you have on hand? I think a lot of companies, especially small entrepreneurs, have no idea of what
Yeah,
cash they have on hand or what their cash needs are.
that's so true.
So I created this pretty intricate Excel spreadsheet, and I actually think it's genius. I have to tell you, so, not because I did it, but I think it's pretty good, and it shows me where, so I think that's important. So that was a good question.
Yeah.
That is important. Is that something you share with others, or do you just keep that for you?
Well, with the executive team, I mean, we need
with
to,
your exec team.
exactly.
I think that's really important because I think you're right. A lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, they don't know. They just look at their P&Ls and they just let other people worry about their accounting, and they don't know how much cash they have on hand.
Well, think about it. You could have receivables, right? What if you're net 60 and that cash is not coming in for 2 months? Well, you better understand your cash on hand and what you need to survive, right? So I just
Let's
think
get into buying ads. I mean, that's what Maxy Media does. Give us some tips. What do you look for when you're placing ads? It's such a mystery. Like Jen and I have done Facebook ads. We feel like, oh my gosh, it's just such a mystery. It never works. And then I've got a son who owns Instagram meme pages of 9 million followers, and he sells ads
really.
on those meme pages. Yeah.
Really? Well, I'll tell you this. You don't ask me because I don't know. And I'll tell you the skill in running a large organization is getting the people that know better than you. So I call it it's almost like the entrepreneur's dilemma. It's actually, that's in the book as well. And entrepreneurs often, they start a business, they have a big ego, they think they're the best in whatever industry they're in. So for example, paid advertising, right?
Mhm.
So they believe that they're the best or they have to be the best. But I take the other approach. I don't believe that I'm the best really in anything. In whatever I'm the best in, I want to do and give the jobs that other people are better than, So for example, we're doing very well on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
But I've never, ever, I don't even have a TikTok page. I've never done a TikTok video, but we have 200 people on our team that do TikToks all day long. So I hired people that are experts. So you want to look, if you want to really scale a business, get out of your way, drop your ego and don't try to be the best in everything because you can't be, it's impossible. So I guess so how do you buy, I guess to answer your question, how do you buy media effectively? Find the best people like your son that can do it for you if you can't do it. Right. If you, unless you love, buying media or you love, math. And so if you're at the intersection of mathematics and creativity, then you can be an amazing media buyer, but you're going to waste your time and a lot of it if you want to tackle that and you don't love it.
That's what we found with Facebook ads. We need to hire the professional if we want to bank in on that. So for sure. Yeah. Well, tell us, Mark, where people can go to get your book and where they can find more information about you.
All right, they can go to a website. Actually, before that, I'm going to give your listeners a gift.
Oh, yeah.
Is that cool?
That'd be great.
All right, so the gift you can find, I'm going to give a quiz. It's called the Lucky Quiz. And I expect to see Jenn and Melanie both do the Lucky Quiz. It scores you on a scale from 0 to 100, your actually luck score. And you can find that at theluckyformula/quiz, theluckyformula/quiz. And, if your score is low or even high, it gives you tips and tricks on how to get your luck or your success ratio up. So that's number one. And you can find more information on me at marklachance.com or on Instagram. I don't have, 9 million followers like your son, but I'm getting close at Mr. Mister Lucky Official.
I like that. All right, we'll put those links up in the show notes as well as on the description on YouTube so people can click on those links and go and follow you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark Lachance. It was great having you here today. Thanks for being so easygoing and going with the flow of our interview today. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
So if you're looking to write a book and become a #1 bestseller guaranteed, reach out to us at eliteonlinepublishing.com and hit that submission button. We'll see if you're a good fit for us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.